welcome to Pitch Brand Talks. I'm Simran Sabharwal. Summer's right upon us, and summer means vacations. And I have a brand today with me which has a lot to do our vacation because none of our summer's travel plans can be done without a luggage. And I'm very happy to have with me today Anushri Tenwala. She's the Executive Director of Marketing at Samsonite South Asia. Anu, hi.
Hi, how are you today?
It's great. Anu, I just want to start off with how has the year been for the company overall? What have been the challenges? What's the growth that you've kind of seen?
So we actually operate a Jan to December year. So our year
Sure.
has just sort of begun. We're almost one quarter through it. So I think we last year was a difficult year for us. We'd really seen a big slowdown in the growth that we'd experienced in the few years after COVID. I think the first quarter this year has been a bit better in that sense. We're once again seeing some improvement and positivity in consumer sentiments as well. So again, it's too early to tell, but we're hoping that things have turned around a corner again, and consumers are back to buying luggage, and they never really stop travel. So I guess that continues as well. Mhm.
You just mentioned that travel has probably slowed down, but post-COVID, revenge travel had really taken off. So that has kind of come back to normal, or what's been the changes in the trends of travel that you're seeing?
So I think definitely the euphoria that happened right after COVID has died down a bit. Maybe travel still continues on a high, but for our industry, I think that replacement cycle that people hadn't bought luggage for a few years, and then all of a sudden we had maybe consumers coming in all at once to purchase products that died down from 24 onwards. I think we've seen fundamentally a change in the way people travel. Post COVID, we're noticing that people take more number of trips, maybe shorter trips than what they did earlier. And I think the other big thing is there's a huge surge in a whole segment of the population who never really traveled for leisure or fun before, right? Like for most of middle class India, travel used to be about, नानी के घर जाना है, or
Exactly.
you go for that one or two तीर्थ yatras in your lifetime, केदारनाथ जाएंगे, or it was like some big family wedding and you went for that. It was very need based travel in a way. I think that as people's exposure increases, their disposable income increases, people are putting more value on travel as something to spend money on. And people are started considering going for a holiday just for the fun of it, for the first time. In fact, even people who used to holiday before, we realized that it used to be very state centric, like you used to go somewhere in your state, a hill station, something like that. The kind of interstate travel levels have also increased a lot. All this is I'm talking about for leisure, right? The second thing is also a student travel. That's a big cohort. There are more number of students who are leaving their hometown to go study elsewhere now. And this isn't just abroad, like, going to a big city or going to another town to study. That's also something that's really picked up a lot post COVID as well.
And wedding also is a big time, right?
Yeah, I
For
think
luggage.
definitely for a segment of the population, the whole destination wedding is, something that's caught on more. And the big fat Indian wedding is definitely back. I think the smaller, more intimate weddings that were happening during COVID and immediately after, I think that trend has changed once again. The old fashioned big fat Indian wedding is once again the norm.
Looking at the overall at the company level, you have a very diversified range of brands across segment. Obviously, Samsonite is probably the most well-known, the premium brand. After that, you have the mid-range, again very well-known American Tourister, and also Chameleon by American Tourister. Currently, what's the share of each in your overall portfolio? Which is the biggest driver of growth and revenue?
So today our biggest chunk of sales comes from American Tourister. That's our mid to mid premium
Mid-range.
sort of brand. I would say almost, let's say 60% of the sales would come from that brand. Then another 20% comes from our premium brand, which is Samsonite. I think that speaks to a niche audience in the country. And then we have, let's say, another 20% would be coming from Chameleon, which is our value brand, that we launched almost a decade ago now.
Now, coming to Chameleon, it was established in 2014. Like you said, it's a value brand. But this is the first time you're actually doing a TVC. Why did you wait like close to 12 years or more than that? What's the reason now that you chose to do the TVC, and what's the insights that you've got for this particular segment?
So I think we launched the brand in 2015 in the India market, so almost 10 years ago now. That was a time we felt that India was really going to get ready to travel and travel in a serious way. The consumer I spoke about who was very used to traveling infrequently or with a very set purpose of, nani ghar or something like that. And that consumer was changing, their mindset was changing. And there were a lot of new consumers who were coming into the market for the first time, who were looking to travel in a serious way. So whereas luggage used to be like a family purchase, there used to be like 1 or 2 pieces the whole family owned. Anyone who went anywhere used to dust that out, and that piece was used. And when people started thinking of travel more seriously, the need of owning luggage also became that much more important. And I think as these people were looking at traveling for leisure or business or for studies, marriage, whatever the reason be, they also started thinking of buying branded luggage for the first time. And that's when we realized that with American Tourister, we were really operating at a price point which was inaccessible by this mass of India. And that's how Chameleon was brought into the Indian market. It was a brand that existed in a few other countries earlier. And we brought it in to cater to this audience who's really looking at making a serious luggage purchase for the first time, is looking at buying a branded piece of luggage for the first time. And how do we really offer them something that's affordable, yet has superb quality, is amazingly stylish, provides everything that an international brand would provide, the promise, the assurance, the durability, all of that, but at a price point that's accessible by them as well. And that's how really Chameleon was born in the market. For us, it was largely a distribution play. We're present in almost 5,000 to 6,000 outlets around the country. So, I mean, we're very, very widely distributed. There are many consumers. We sell lakhs of pieces every year who are using our brand already, right? But we realized that, when we started looking back and, taking a step back and really looking at what it is more that we could do with this brand, we worked with a small boutique consulting firm who helped us do some consumer work, right? We went out there and actually had in-depth conversations with consumers. Me, my team, our CEO, all of them had those conversations, and we realized that all these people who've been using Chameleon for all these years, they don't even know what this brand is. They've just been buying it on the promise of American Tourister, really, and the trust that they have behind that brand, and this is when we started thinking that maybe the time has come, where we've reached enough of a scale to really push the lever on this brand as India really prepares for its next stage of growth as well, and travel really explodes. We want this brand to be positioned in a way that a consumer is actively choosing it, as opposed to choosing it as one amongst a bunch of brands he's considering. I think this, keeping this in mind is really when we thought that let's push more investments behind this brand as well. And, of course, the first port of call would be creating some awareness really for the brand. And that's how we decided to get 2 brand ambassadors on board who really speak to what we are trying to do with the brand. Tiger comes with, he's the modern day action film guy. He's the one who's got all the muscle, the strength, all the physical prowess which our product promises. And at the same time, we have Tamanna, who represents that style, glamour, fashion, aspiration value that is associated with our product as well. And then once these 2 came on board last year for us, and we see the kind of effect they've had in just a BTL kind of way, which is what our focus was last year, really painting the town with Chameleon. And that's why this year we decided to kind of take the leap and go ahead with the ATL campaign as well on the brand.
Can you just speak more? What is the kind of impact the BTL campaign with Tamanna and Tiger Shroff had? If you could just give me a kind of idea, what was the uptick you saw? Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of us still prefer to go and buy a suitcase from a offline store, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. So for us, there are kind of 3 points of sale for the brand. We have trade or the general trade, which is operated through a bunch of our distributor partners, which services 3 to 4 thousand dealer outlets around the country. Then we operate through modern trade, which is all our hypermarket partners, whether it's a Reliance, DMart, Vishal, Megamart, all of those, which again caters to 2 to 3 thousand outlets around the country. And then the third leg, of course, is e-commerce, where we have the two big players and a bunch of smaller players that we operate through. So I think the benefit of having a brand ambassador on board was very often, you kind of you are not given a fair opportunity or a fair share to compete in the market, to give the consumer a choice to see your brand, view your brand in an equal context. By bringing in a brand ambassador, you're able to get that share of voice through our customers, which allows the end consumer to make the final decision. Because we always say that being an MNC, we've always had very clear thinking that our focus is on the product, making the best product possible for our consumers, and let the consumer be the judge of what works and what would he like to buy. But of course, that's only possible when the playing field is kind of even. So having those brand ambassadors on board helped us level the playing field in a way to present our product offering to the consumer as well, to let them make a choice on which brand they would prefer to buy.
So how are you going to the consumer to tell them more about your communication? What's your media mix looking like? Is a 360-degree plan with television also?
Yes, absolutely. It's a 360-degree plan. For television, we're looking at a more connected TV approach. We felt it's more relevant from today's perspective. And of course, it being IPL season, that's the biggest reach platform we could really employ. So we are advertising on IPL as well. And along with that, we have a very robust digital plan, covering all, of course, Meta, YouTube, all of that, but also, ticketing portals, news sites, the gamut of the digital world. We also have a very strong social campaign plan. And along with that, we are covering almost over 100 towns across the country, taking out of home units there. Because of course, we're a very widely distributed brand, and the best way to really get the word across in some of these small towns is still taking a few sites, iconic sites, which become something of a talking point in those towns. So we're really looking at a 360 campaign for this brand.
I just have a clarification I'd like. You mentioned CTV and you mentioned IPL. So are you doing IPL via CTV or are you doing IPL the normal brand?
IPL via CTV, yeah.
Okay, so how is this is like you mentioned a value brand, right? So how is this marketing communication referring to, say, what you say, do with Samsonite or even American Tourister? Is there a lot of change, or is now Samsonite only more digital and here you're going more mass?
No, I think when we really focused on advertising Samsonite 2 years ago, we also did TV for Samsonite. I think it's easier to do a marketing plan for a brand like Chameleon because every person is your consumer. Whereas for Samsung, you're looking at a very niche audience. Of course, media selection has to be keeping that in mind, really. So I think we do advertise TV across all our 3 brands, depending on the campaign and how relevant that is. For Chameleon, of course, when we came up with the creative, the idea was, the objective we were trying to achieve was awareness. You're starting from a very low base. And of course the IPL, our budgets are never going to be the biggest budgets, compared to other categories who employ IPL for advertising. So it had to be something that's a bit more clutter breaking as well, right? So we generally believe that humor is a hook that works very well with the Indian audience, and we wanted to showcase the durability of the product as well, because that still remains very table stakes for our category and for this consumer cohort of Chameleon. And that's, I'm not sure if you've gotten a chance to view our ads,
I
but
have.
the idea is you want to take like iconic fight scenes from iconic movies and remake them by placing our product in a tongue-in-cheek way in that scene. You know, like we have a period drama kind of piece, one of the films is, and you know, why would a luggage suddenly be there in this environment? But it is, and it's used as a
Durability.
yeah. So it's just, it's funny. You wanted people to, you know, smile, chuckle, border on the ridiculousness of it, and that's how be memorable in the consumer's mind, really. So that was a kind of approach from a creative point of view that we wanted to employ to stand out, you know, because our industry as well, it's really gotten crowded now. There may be like 18 to 20 players who exist and who are very active digitally. So how do you really differentiate yourself from the, especially the D2C brands who follow a very common marketing code, right? Of the way their visuals look, their brand language looks, it's all too similar, and this will not be that. It's going to be over the top. It's going to be funny. It's going to be ridiculous almost, and that's how we hope
And
to be kind of sticky in a consumer's mind.
and stand out in the clutter. I agree with that because durability is very important when it comes to luggage, and the campaign did get that across. Now you're also in a category which lends very well to content, social content, and I just want to ask you, with travel as a travel as a vertical, you also have influencers coming in because we have tons of them. You also mentioned that your it's a very it's a very cluttered market right now because you've had a lot of new entrants. So how do you stand apart from them? What is the strategy you're using for influencer marketing? Because then it becomes very that same old category. So how are you doing? What are you doing to stand out? And I have another question with this. I recently read a report that instead of influencers, it's the micro influencers who are giving a higher ROI. So, just what are your thoughts on that? What are you doing to stand out in this clutter, like you had mentioned?
So I think, I mean, definitely if you talk about from an ROI perspective, micro influencers give you much better bang for the buck. But with a campaign like this, we have two purposes really, right? One, of course, ROI, etc., which we look at. But second is also reach. Today, I'm not looking at these influencers really driving sales for me as much as driving awareness, which is why I think even a macro influencer still has a role from that perspective. I think what's definitely changed is authenticity in terms of content. If you don't make your content like watchable, in the sense that if no one's actually interested in the content you're putting out, it's going to be very hard to get anyone's attention, because every influencer out there is peddling so many brands, and I mean in such an inauthentic manner. Like in the same category, you'll have them advertising one brand today, tomorrow would literally be a second brand, and day after would be a third brand, and so I think we're wary of influencers like that as well. And we're definitely looking at, like, for this campaign, for example, since we're taking this whole tongue-in-cheek route, we're tying up with a whole bunch of all levels from macro, micro, nano content creators to be making similarly tongue-in-cheek content, recreating iconic cinema moments, iconic TV moments using our product, right? So the idea is that we want it to be inherently watchable. Like, it's so funny that you want to watch it. And that's how you get the point across, as opposed to like a forced ad where, no one really wants to watch it. You're just waiting to scroll onto the next thing. And I think this is not something that's going to change. Definitely, I feel the power of content creators is huge today. I mean, I myself as a consumer have bought so many random things just because I saw an influencer peddling in it and it looked interesting. So I think it's just about using them more intelligently. Like you said, there's so many brands in our category now, and they're all employing influencers. We really have to keep thinking of new and unique ways of engaging them. And really being very crisp with our messaging to make sure that we get the point across.
That definitely is a challenge. But what is your expectation from your campaign? what would you say at the end of the campaign run? What is your expectation? What are the metrics that you're looking at?
So I think if I get a 10 percentage basis point improvement, a 10 percentage point improvement in my awareness number, I would have said the campaign was very successful.
I just wanted to know also, what's the size of this market where you're targeting for the value-based luggage? How big is this market?
I mean, it's the largest chunk of the luggage
It's
market
the
today.
largest chunk,
50%
so
sits in this price point
Yeah.
that we operate at. If I leave the D2C players aside, most of the big players in the industry, the Indian players, all operate in this price segment only.
okay. Now, I also want to know you've seen a kind of a growth in e-commerce as well as in quick commerce. So, as a category and a Samsonite, how are you looking at that, and what's kind of the growth you've seen from that perspective?
So honestly, just during COVID and right after, there was a huge surge in growth for this channel.
Yeah.
I think they're also kind of refinding their footing now in terms of focusing more on profitability, etc. And for us, our focus remains equal on all channels. I don't think we're looking at getting disproportionate growth from
Sure.
e-commerce, because we realize that's a double-edged sword. It also comes with some cost to your brand equity and things, which we are very careful about. So whilst, of course, we will engage this channel, it is where consumers are shopping today, including quick commerce as well. But we are not looking at, getting majority of our sales or growth from e-commerce.
Looking ahead, what's your vision for the brand and the company? Say, give it a 5-year look ahead.
I mean, I definitely see Chameleon being the biggest player in the industry in the next 5 years. It's ideally positioned in terms of the pricing, the kind of consumer it's talking to, and really where the growth is coming as well. And I think for the company overall, we have 3 really strong brands that operate in very distinct segments of the market. I think there's no ambiguity in terms of an overlap, in terms of anything, right? Whether it's a communication strategy, product strategy, brand strategy, it's all very distinct and clear. And I think each one is talking to a consumer segment that's growing and important for the country today. So I think just doing more of what we are doing and sticking to it will definitely help us get the growth and mindshare of the consumer.
Anushri, my final question is that Samsonite made news a couple of weeks back because there was a talk about how Samsonite said that the competition is being discounting products, which is not good for the entire category as such. So, would the focus now move from Samsonite and be more like with this campaign on Chameleon and American Tourister rather than Samsonite, because these two
I think
categories,
we were talking about not the brand, we were talking about the company. In fact, the
company and
brand that's least affected by discounting is the brand Samsung, because it enjoys a premium and a place of its own.
Sure.
I think we were referring to more of the value segments of the market as well, where it's really become a bloodbath in terms of pricing. So I think as a company, we're pretty clear. Our focus has always been profitable growth. It's never been growth at all costs. And if that means it comes at the cost of some sales growth, we're okay to let that go and continue doing the right thing and focusing on our profitability as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anushri, for your time. It was lovely chatting with you.
You too. It's nice meeting you, Simran. Thank you.